Welcome back. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Back to school often means back to kids worrying about everything from making new friends to being safe in their classroom. When tackling tough topics with your kids, it can be helpful to introduce the idea through a book. Here with suggestions to help your family, we welcome educator Paul Frederick. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
There are so many great children's books out there.
There are.
So I'm glad you're here to give us some recommendations because it's pretty overwhelming.
It is. And the helpful thing about books and stories for kids is it gives them an opportunity. They don't have a lot of life experience.
Sure.
So reading a story is a way for them to experience overcoming challenges and almost practice or kind of have a dress rehearsal for having success. And so as they pretend to be like a character in the story, it's as if they get to participate a little bit in overcoming challenges and going through these different experiences. That's
true. And then we as adults sometimes have a conversation starter to talk about them about some of these tougher things. So let's go through some of your recommendations.
Sure.
What do you have first for us here?
All right. The first one up is the Curious Carousel Horse, Curious Blueberry the Carousel Horse. And this one is really about encouraging curiosity. So you have, there's kind of two elements to this. The story is encouraging children to ask open-ended questions, which is good for around school time, obviously. But it's also about them wondering and asking open-ended questions about their own worlds, and that's just helpful for young kids in general.
With adorably cute illustrations to boot. Yeah, those open-ended questions, that can be super helpful for the adults in their lives that can, spark those conversations.
Yeah, because we really want to encourage the curiosity. Sometimes school can be a habit, or for some kids it saps a little curiosity. This is helpful. Thinking about open-ended questions is helpful for keeping that alive. Okay,
let's move on to the next kindergarten title here. This looks so cute.
This one's pretty on the nose, but Countdown to Kindergarten. It's helpful for younger kids of that age, of course, they're going to have anxiety, kind of like your previous segment. There's going to be anxiety, and that is going to get in the way of learning sometimes. For a child who's just starting kindergarten, they're going to have a lot of questions, they're going to have a lot of worries, and this story is a way for them to experience that ahead of time and alleviate some of those worries.
For sure. All right, let's move on to the next one here. This one looks so fun.
Yes. The Dot is a good story about overcoming obstacles and self-doubt. So instead of thinking that I can't do something, and oftentimes around going back to school, we feel like maybe we're not good at this subject or that subject, we're not good at this or that, but this story is about reframing that into what you can do and improving on what you can do.
Oh, love that. That is
fun.
So awesome. Okay, I recognize this next one. I have some of her other titles.
Okay.
So cute.
So particularly for the youngest students out there, maybe preschoolers, maybe younger than that, this book is just a simple comparison between things that are loud and are quiet. But really for some kids, that's a big deal. There's a certain percentage of kids that get overwhelmed with loud noises. Having some exposure to the things they can expect to be loud is actually helpful for, again, overcoming anxiety if they encounter them later.
That's super, super helpful. And always with these super colorful, bold illustrations are fun for everybody. Look at this one.
Okay, parents will like this one.
Okay.
You get what you get.
That sounds familiar.
That's right. So one of the things that little children are learning is that they're not the center of the universe. They are in some ways for their parents, but they have to share space with peers and friends, and they're going to have to learn how to deal with certain disappointments. And so learning that you get what you get and you don't throw a fit is a pretty helpful skill for children and some adults too.
I was going to say, sometimes we as adults say things to our kids and they don't always process them, but in the form of a book they might take the advice a little bit easier. Okay, this last one, I got to get this one.
It might be my favorite one in the group. So the story is the child encounters a disappointment, something goes wrong that they were building, and different personalities. They're encountering different personalities that are interacting with them and trying to fix their problem. And in the end, the hero, in a way, is the one that just listens and sits with them and is a support for them until they're ready to talk about it.
Oh.
It's a pretty cute story.
We could all use that
We
friend
could all use
in a
that.
pinch. Hey, thank you so much for bringing us all these titles. Great recommendations.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.